She held me close that summer's day and whispered softly, spoke my name. The weight she carried through years of pain, then smiled, my son, I'm glad you came. Yeah, she said softly, I'm glad you came. Her smile was fading, my world was changing. She held my heart to ease my fears and exhaled, my son, I'm glad you came. He sat silenced by years of pain, a quiet man shaped heart by heartstring. He gripped my hand as the shadows fell and said, my son, I'm glad you came. And he said gently, I'm glad you came. His voice grew quiet despite the pain. He held my hand as the dark grew near and said, my son, I'm glad you came. She touched my cheek and spoke my name, smiled like the day we met in the rain. Her eyes held stories of joy and tears and whispered, husband, I'm glad you came. And she said softly, I'm glad you came. Her eyes remembered that warm, soft rain. She touched my cheek and pulled me near and whispered, husband, I'm glad you came. I walked through shadows, tempted to stray, but their voices, they still light my way. I learned the truth of how love is made from those who whisper, glad you came. Her love said softly, I'm glad you came. Her smile was fading, my world was changing. She held my heart and eased my fear and breathed, my son, I'm glad you came. His love said gently, I'm glad you came. His voice grew steady, cutting through pain. He held my hand as the dark grew near and said, my son, I'm glad you came. My love said softly, I'm glad you came. Her eyes remembered that warm, soft rain. She touched my cheek and pulled me